It is roughly, I'd say it's about 3:30 in the afternoon on Sunday, and I'm guessing today is the 28th. Um, so I just took my wife's car to the car wash, got it all nice and clean and spiffy, and so I've got a little bit, gonna dry it off a little bit and drive it on the road. So I figured I'd go ahead and post a video. So I I think it's only the second time I've ever done this with my phone. So forgive me if it's a little choppy or the video is a little weird. I've got the phone hooked to a magnet mount on the air conditioner vent. So just bear with me. Don't worry. Nice blinker there, buddy. Jeez. When they send cars to Virginia, they disconnect people's turn signals. But anyway, I read on the news that Donald Trump is having a conference on military ethos or something along those lines, where everybody above the rank of Brigadier General, or I guess they call it Rear Admiral in the Navy, 1 star, where everybody above a 1 star is supposed to be going to Quantico, Virginia on Tuesday, which I believe is the 30th. And they're going to have some kind of conference. Now, my spider sense was tingling when I read this. Quantico is not a very big place. It's about maybe 25 miles south of Washington, D.C., right there on 95 in Virginia. You can see, when you go right past it, you can see part of the base from I-95, and you can see the Marine Corps Museum, which is just north of the base. You can see that sticking from the side of the highway. It's a big, kind of a triangle-shaped building with a point that goes way up into the sky. It's kind of cool looking. So anyway, they're having everybody come together for this meeting of the top brass. And my spider sense started tingling because I read this on a friend of mine who lives in Europe sent me the link. And it was kind of surprising that it was reported over there first. But the military has a very good satellite and internet and radio. You could call it a communication system. It's pretty secure. It's encrypted. So they could have a Zoom call. They could very easily have a Zoom call with everybody. But they're flying everybody in. They're announcing it ahead of time. To me, that's kind of a security risk. Maybe not a major one, but you got that many people, high profile, at one time all together like that. That's a potential for a terrorist target or something like that. But what was the reason that Donald Trump is doing this? Okay. Does it have anything to do with the recent Russian flybys of German ships in the North Sea? Does it have to do with aerial incursions by the Russians into Poland with drones? Does it have to do with Russian jets flying close to the Alaska coastline to where they send up our own jets to intercept them? Is it a message to Europe that, hey, the United States, we got this? Is it a message to Russia to back down? Is it a message to the American people that I'm Donald Trump and I'm in charge now? Is he trying to somehow reassure the American people? Is it a message to NATO that, hey, we're still the top dog in town? Nobody really knows. Or is it something totally unseen or unforeseen, I should say? Is something else afoot? Is he gathering some of the top brass because there are going to be arrests? Maybe a courts-martial involved? Are there going to be high-ranking civilians there who may have engaged in some hanky-panky, possibly during Trump's first administration? General Milley, and people like that who undermine the commander-in-chief. People can be retired as a general. I don't even think I think it's from colonel and above. If you're retired, you can be recalled by the United States the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. You can be called back and put on active duty for a court martial. You don't have the same rights in the military that civilians do. You give up some of those rights. I'm not saying that could happen. I guess, is it a possibility? Maybe. Is there going to be a military tribunal for certain civilians who may have engaged in, let's just say, some political shenanigans, and they're going to be brought to justice? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. It's possible. Everybody's been so caught up in the whole, the thing about the Charlie Kirk assassination. And now there's some weird, bizarre stuff coming up about that, which I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today. I put my tinfoil hat away and I don't want to get it out just now. But there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. And there was supposed to be I don't know. There's supposed to be something else coming up this week. I guess we're getting to the point where they're going to have to come up with some kind of bipartisan spending bill, or we're going to have another government shutdown. I think the Democrats actually want a government shutdown because they want to be able to blame the Republicans for it and blame Donald Trump so they can punish him in the midterms. But also there are people who are pretty far to the right who want a government shutdown because they justifiably believe that the government is too big and spends too much money. And, it makes you wonder why we don't have more people in Congress like Senator Rand Paul, Representative Thomas Massey, Representative Jim Jordan, and who's that guy? The guy from Missouri, Josh Hawley. Some of these other people, and Chip Roy from Texas, some of these other people who are really in tune to the danger that the unchecked spending and the insurmountable debt is going to, the problem it's going to cause for our country in the years down the road. You have the BRICS, what is it? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You have the BRICS countries who are trying to get away from being stuck using the dollar. And I don't know if they're going to go to a gold-based currency or if they're going to somehow make themselves an alternative for pricing of commodities such as oil. But if that happens, that's really going to hinder the ability of the United States to have global hegemony over financial markets. Now, some people would say I'm anti-American for saying this, which I am not. I'm about as patriotic as you can get. But there are countries around the world who are kind of pissed off at Uncle Sam right now. And I can't say I blame them. We wouldn't want to put up with that. So we're forcing people to basically underwrite our debt. And then we take money we don't have from people who don't have it, the American taxpayers, and we send billions of dollars all around the world, mostly to people who hate us. So it's like it just doesn't, it's like being broke and you get a cash advance on your credit card and you go down and buy food for everybody at the homeless shelter. Yeah, that feels good for a while. It sounds good, but you're just imperiling yourself. And then if you go under, then you won't be able to help anybody. I'm not going to ask you to come over and help me paint my living room if your kitchen is on fire. It's one of those types of things. So there's a lot of crazy, weird stuff going on right now. And the whole thing about Jimmy Kimmel that was recently, his suspension and then rehiring. I'm not going to come out and say it was, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was just a ruse from the beginning, if it was all a hoax. If they were just trying to ruffle up feathers and maybe resurrect his ratings and get even people on the right who don't like attacks on free speech to support Jimmy Kimmel. Now, I can't stand him. I think he's an annoying little twit. But I don't ever want the government telling him he has to take his program off the air. Now, if his employer wants to do that, that's fine. That's That's not a First Amendment issue. But, you know, a lot of people on the right are actually standing up and defending Jimmy Kimmel far more than anybody on the left who was defending Charlie Kirk. But nevertheless, there's just some weird stuff going on right now, and we live in some bizarre times. I don't know what is going to happen on Tuesday, but I just think that there's more afoot. There's more to this than meets the eye. Something's going on. There's something behind all of this, and I don't know what it is, but I guess we'll find out. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great, fantastic day, and I hope that you enjoy this Sunday, and that the rest of your week goes very well. How do I stop this? I apologize. For some reason, there's not an icon on there to stop it. I want to end this video. I've gone on long enough. Oh, God. Where do I do this?